if you know this. On one hand, we see so many, some of us Yidden are falling off, right? And then we see, on the other hand, we see a lot of big souls on the other side, they're coming to us. They're born Yidden and they fall off. Because basically, they really didn't want to be on Mount Sinai. Think about it. He says, when you see a Yidden living Yiddishkeit, he didn't want to be on Mount Sinai. He was only there because everybody was there. On the other hand, he says, when you see a non-Jew coming back to Yiddishkeit, he says, okay, imagine God says to this nation, you want to come to Mount Sinai? They answered no. He said, you really think none of them wanted to go? The nation didn't want to go, but there's a lot of people wanted to go, private. So what their story is, that they are born as non-Jews, and they come back. So right now, it's mamash, this traffic is unbelievable, right? It's mamash traffic. All the Yidden, but you know what's so special? That on one hand, it's so heartbreaking that so many of our kids living in Yiddishkeit. On the other hand, God is mamash purifying His people. Those who really didn't want to be there, so they're not there. Curaçao is a Dutch island. It's a whole long story, which is not even important. The rabbi says to me there, I want you to know, and I arrived there and I brought my cousin and says, who's playing with me? So my Chabad went with me. They said, okay, it's a secret. Tonight you have an unbelievable piano player with you. But anyway, we cannot tell you it's a secret. So the rabbi, I told him, tell me who it is, I just want to be prepared. I promise I won't tell that I know. So he tells me this story, that in Curaçao, it's a little island, and you have to realize also one thing, Curaçao is the first stop where the Marranos went from Spain to Curaçao, the oldest Jewish cemetery besides Spain. And they have the island, they must know that they're descendants of Eden. In Curaçao I have no trouble, I don't need a cab. I walk on the street, a yarmulke, and tzitzis, every second car stops. And they mamish say, we are relatives to you. We are Catholics now, but we are descendants of Jews. What? That I don't know. I haven't been in the shul for a long time. The oldest shul, so you about shul.
Beautiful
cemetery.
Sand floor.
But anyway, listen to this. They just fixed it now.
Sand floor.
That's possible, yeah. He told me so many stories about the shul that I already forgot it. But anyway, to make it very short, he says every year they have a gathering of all religions, like Catholic, Protestant, Lutheran, and whatever there is. And the one on the audience decides who has the best song, get a prize. He says a new abbey came to Curaçao, now a new bishop, and the bishop calls up the rabbi. He says, I would be very happy if I can participate in this contest of songs. He says, you have to ask me, right? You're the bishop. He says, no, you understand. I want to sing as a Jew. I want to sing for you on the Jewish side. They said, you want to sing on the Jewish side? He says, what do you know? He said, I want you to know, he says, I'm a good friend of Shlomo, under me. I have all his records, but he says the most important thing is I heard him in Holland many years ago, and I mamish know all his songs. So I want to play his songs tonight and sing. Anyway, the chazan was supposed to sing, was schwach between you and me. The bishop sang some of my songs, and mamish took the whole island by storm. He has mamish a gewalt voice, mamish beautiful, and he plays piano. He's mamish a concert pianist. See, because before he decided, he's mamish so talented. He is a doctor, and he's also a concert pianist. And mamish a gewalt, mamish, and he's a bishop. Anyway, so he came that night to play piano with me, And the surprise was he wanted to know if I recognize him, It's a gewalt. What a concept, gewalt, But anyway, people like this, they're mamish. Sometimes I think maybe we overdoing it, mamish. I didn't ask any of the tzaddikim, What do you really do? You see mamish a big neshama like this? only needs, I was last year in Holland, and I davened in shul, but Nishmas Kochai, I see the Abbey walked in, He's walking in. And he knows Hebrew perfect, So he was davening with me the whole time. He's so idle, he doesn't come in with his crosses or anything, He comes dressed in like a civilian. And Mamish a heilige Neshama,
You mean to say he's getting out of his habits?
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, I don't know. Reb Nachman says, it's very clear, Reb Nachman says, before Mashiach is coming, all the big neshamas from all over the world are coming to us here. No question about that. All perfect, So he was davening with me the whole time. He's so idle, he doesn't come. Mamish. I have to tell you one more thing, which is unbelievable. I don't know if you know this. On one hand, we see so many, some of us Yidden are falling off, right? And then we see, on the other hand, we see a lot of big souls on the other side are coming to us. So there's a Gewalt Torah of one of the biggest rabbis, just like this. When Moshe comes back, God says to Moshe, when ask the Yidden if they want to receive the Torah. So the Yanu Kola Am Yachtu, all the Yidden answered back yes and received the Torah. So this Rebbe says, the truth is, there were some people who only said it because, what should they do, right? All the Yidden said, and you're part of a crowd. Well, one Yidden said, no, I don't want to. Geht doch nicht, right? So he didn't want to, or she didn't want to. So he says, they are born many years later, they're born Yidden and they follow. Because basically they really didn't want to be on Mount Sinai. So good. One of the biggest rabbis, I forgot about it. Not from today, from the old rabbis. He says, when you see a Yid living Yiddishkeit, he didn't want to be on Mount Sinai. He was only there because everybody was there. On the other hand, he didn't say that. I don't ask specifics, I'm just telling you the Torah. We don't know. On the other hand, he says, when you see a non-Jew coming back to Yiddishkeit, he says, okay, imagine God says to this nation, you want to come to Mount Sinai? They answered no. He said, do you really think none of them wanted to go? The nation didn't want to go, but there's a lot of people who wanted to go, private. So what their story is, that they are born as non-Jews, and they come back. So right now, it's mamash, this traffic is unbelievable, right? It's mamash traffic. All the Yidden, but you know what's so special? That on one hand, it's so heartbreaking that so many of our kids living Yiddishkeit. On the other hand, God is mamash purifying His people, those who really didn't want to be there. So they're not there, It gave, for me, it was a very strong consolation. Because I remember someone called me up and he says, Mamish, my nephew, Mamish Gefer. I started talking to him. And somehow after I heard this Torah, it was clear to me, he doesn't want to be on Mount Sinai. Push. It's okay, you want to go away, leave, I'm not stopping you, right? Maybe if I wouldn't have known this Torah, I would have put Mamish. He said, dear, but Yiddishkeit. Mamish, you think we're low, we are rotten, the Torah is bad, forget it, Okay, you want to leave? Damig is not, But then you meet people from the other side. But they're so, so hungry for Yiddishkeit, Unbelievable.
About getting to a certain level where there's no such thing as individual religious souls, like there's no such thing as individual soul, or you take it to a certain level and it's like we're all God's children. How does that fit?
Hey, an unbelievable tale from Rav Kook. You have enough? Okay, good. Praise God. It's well, it's good you ask, because it's a good Torah to know. Pretty good, special prize, special
really?
the Torah which I told or which I'm going to tell? I tell you what, I have a sefer, and it's crazy, I couldn't put my fingers on it. It's called Lekutim Yikorim from Tamid Bat Shem. And it's just crazy. It's Torahs. One Torah does not connect to the other. Just someone collected Torahs, and I found this Torah in there. Then after that I was looking for it all over and I couldn't find it anymore. So I don't know. But anyway, it's crazy, I couldn't put my fingers on it. It's called Lekutim Yikorim from Tamid Bat. It's very special to know. It's a little consolation, it just doesn't make you so happy when you see someone going to India instead of Eretz Yisrael, Okay, maybe it's on his way out. I have nothing against them, it might be a big neshama, but his Mount Sinai is not for him, he doesn't want to. The second version of Kook, again, this in a letter of Oles Viyah, so I don't know exactly where it is from. He says that religion is going through 3 stages in the history of the world. The first stage of history is that everybody says, my religion is the only one, and you don't have my religion, I can kill you. You're out. What? No, he says the first stage of religion is that everybody believes in its religion, and if you don't have the same religion, I have the right to kill you. You don't deserve to live. The second stage of religion, suddenly we discover, Mamish, we all are one, we're all serving one God, and it's like Gewalt. That's the second stage. And basically all religions are the same. The third stage is the other way around again. My religion is completely different than yours. But Gewalt, so you have the same religion, I still love you the most, right? So this is, it's unbelievable, the depth of the Torah. You see, okay, I would say until the Second World War was mamish, if you don't have the same religion, I want to kill you. The 6 million open gates that suddenly the world realized, we're all of the same, right? There's a lot of, in the air was suddenly religions began talking to each other. But now we're entering mamish the third phase. That people realize, especially for us heathen, right? Because we always thought we have to lick the goyim. No. I can tell first from another religion, I'm absolutely not the same. But if you serve God, you go, you serve God, I serve God my way. Might be completely different. But it's a different thing. See what it is? It's very crazy. On one hand, sure, Mama, you all serve one God, but not, right? It's yes and no. Right? And what it is, the deeper you are, the more you can stand contradictions. When you're in kindergarten, teaching you 101, it's 2 or 3. Don't give me 2 answers, right? I'm not big enough to stand both, right? You'll ask Einstein, how much is 101? He'd say, it could be 1, could be 2, it could be maybe 0. I don't know, right? And he can stomach all these contradictions. Because the higher you are, the more you can stand all the contradictions. Remember Torah of Arthur Schiller says, why is it so hard to be a Jew? Because the Torah, every word is a contradiction. Everything we believe is a contradiction, right? On one hand, mamish, God is everywhere, and God is good, right? And then we see so much evil in the world. On one hand, we know we have mamish free choice. On the other hand, we mamish know that I can lift my finger by choice, right? Everything is a contradiction. And Reb Shlomo Cohen says, don't kid yourself. You cannot fathom it in our head. Because we have a human mind and this is divine. We don't know. And the holiness of us Yidden is that we have big enough kishkas to, we can carry it. For you, Miriam, anything in the world would change. You want to know the craziest thing? I mamish thought of it today. I have to sing it tonight. I'm serious.
But of course.
Yeah. You want to know the craziest thing? You picked it up right there on the spot. What?
That's the Yosel thing.
Yosele again. Okay. Michal, where are you going? Okay.
Well, when was the last time you did yourself?
This one. I have to tell you one thing, and then let's change the subject from religion. I have to tell you something unbelievable. You know, I don't know if some of you will remember. Many years ago was a big ecumenical meeting, and basically was mamish all Christians' religion and all Eastern religions, and Humble Me was also invited. Okay. No, it was in Mount Sinai, this in Erie, Pennsylvania. Yeah. It was like about. It was very special. At that time when Baba Ramdas was there, you know, I told you I was sitting alone with him under a tree, and I asked him, what's your Hebrew name? He said, Reuben Chaim. I said, listen, Reuben Chaim, there's nobody here, just you and I and God. I said, how long are you going to fool around like this, you know? I mean, really. There's got to be a Yid, you know? And it says, I know do you think we Yid don't have enough Torahs for you? You're looking for deep Torahs? We have it for whatever you need, we have, and billions of times more. So he says to me, he says, I'm fully aware of it, that eventually I have to be a Jew, but give me 2 years to fix my business. He told me that 2 years. This was 1973 or 4. Okay, at that time, if you remember, when I got married, 1973, he sent me a telegram, and he signed Reuben Chaim, you know? Mazel Tov from Reuben Chaim, you know? Very sweet. Because, you know, in my invitation it says, please come help us one window in the Holy Temple. He wrote back, I'm completely with you in rebuilding a window in the Holy Temple, but I'm here somewhere. But yes, Mazel Tov Reuben Chaim. It's very sweet, you know? Okay, listen to this. 2 years passed, and nothing happened. So I sent him a telegram, please come to my Seder. You know? And Mamish, the Seder thing is, he must feel so guilty that Mamish, wherever I am, it keeps away. Mamish. This was a real talk, you know. You know. Anyway, so one day I'm walking into this chiropractor. At that time we lived on 91st Street. 92 was a Greek man, a chiropractor, Mamish, and without saying anything bad about others, but what everybody has in their head is Mamish in his toes, you know. A Greek man, I don't even think he speaks English properly. But you know what his name is? His name is Shabbat. And he always asked him, I'm sure it must be, you know, are you sure your name is Moshe, you know? I don't know. Who knows? I'm sure he must be maybe, I don't know what he is. But he's a Gewalt. The Gewalt chiropractor, the Gewalt. And he has mamish koyach, you know. Anyway, one day I'm going there, and I see someone sitting there with a newspaper, mamish, hiding. Brother Reuben Chaim sitting there hiding. And I didn't want to step on his toes. So he pretended he didn't want me to see him, so I pretended I didn't see him. The only thing is, after he walks out, I'm going in right there. I cannot help him, you know. I cannot close my eyes when he walks through the door. So I said, how are you doing? He says, splendid, and walked away. Anyway, then, you know, Moshe Roskopf and at that time, Peschele, went to see him in Philadelphia at the big thing, Friday night, and they knew that I talked to him. So after the whole thing was over, they walked up and they said, Shlomo Carlebach sends a message to Reuben Chaim, good Shabbos. They made it up on their own, you know. It was Friday night, you know. So he says, he always reminds me of Shabbos, what can I do? You know? Well, that was it, you know. Then last year, you remember Zalman was with me before Pesach at this big peace conference? And they made it up on their own, you know. It was Friday night, you know. Mamish made it his business to avoid to talk to me private, Like, what can I do, And I don't want to overpower him, But it's good also to know that when he sees me, Hazam, he realizes it's time for him to...
We get him yet.
To think about it.
What was I telling you before?
It's in Germany.
Oh, yeah.
No, I said something else. I was just going to tell you about story. Oh, I started talking about Mount Sinai. Okay, so here is, for a whole week, about every religion had one morning service and one evening service. Was divided. One day I davened Mara, and everybody was davening with me. It was very, very beautiful. And one morning, Mamish Bahonet Zachama, I davened Shachas. And everybody, I was saying the words loud in Hebrew and in English, and it was about davening. Okay, the conference was Labor Day weekend. The conference ends Friday at 12. Okay, and Swami Satchinanda was in charge of this whole thing. So here the deepest question is, Makabapatish, who's finishing the whole thing? Okay, there were such great giants, Mamish bishops, the Archbishop from London, and so, I wasn't even thinking of going to the last session because I knew they were not going to ask me. I was hanging around. And I was just packing because I wanted to leave early to be home for Shabbos. Suddenly, 11:45, Swami Satchinanda comes to me and this is like this. This is like, listen to this. He said, I want you to know I'm in charge of this conference. For a whole week I'm thinking to myself, who should say the last word here? Whom should I give the last 10 minutes? And he says, I'm watching you and I'm watching all the religions. This is the word, Mamish, from the Chassidim Umas Ha'olam, from an outside person. He says to me, I want you to know, I noticed one thing, that you Jews have the power of putting people together. You have the power of bringing God's oneness into the world. So I decided to ask you to have the last 10 minutes. It's a gewalt, It's a gewalt, Sometimes, Mamish, I'm praying so hard, God should give me the right words, But Mamish gewalt, Anyway.